Great afternoon, Chit Chat, Kit Kats. You know how it is when you totally forget about something and then all of a sudden something pops up and all of it comes flooding back? Well, I was just going through the YouTube stuff and all of a sudden I came across this movie with Aldo Ray, Brian Keith, and Anne Bancroft. Old movie, still in black and white. And it came flooding back about Aldo Ray. Now, I knew Aldo Ray, way back, but I didn't know that he had done all these movies. I only knew him from the movie where he was playing this, it was in a Western, he's all dressed in black, and of course he's being the bad guy. And by that time, he really had this gravelly voice. He wound up dying of cancer. He had throat cancer. I guess he had throat cancer and pneumonia and died. Now, when I met him and knew him, we were both living in this hotel in, not West Hollywood, it was in, is it North Hollywood? I think it's North Hollywood, where it's close to one of the big movie sets and things. Okay. And we'd sit down and talk. He was a really nice guy. And he did smoke. He did smoke a lot. Now, I guess at one point he was having a lot of trouble with drinking and things as well. But I just remember sitting and talking with him. And he had basically gone from having a lot of money to nothing. And very bitter. He lost it all and, said it was due to his marriages and the divorces, and they took everything, and he really had nothing left. Like I said, we were living in the same kind of podunk hotel, He lived a few doors down from me. And we'd sit and talk once in a while. But yeah, he was really quite a nice fellow. So it's interesting to come across this today and find out he had done a lot of movies. And the one, thing that I remembered him from, I think was maybe the only one he did where he was playing this Western, doing this Western as the bad guy. I guess for some movies he was kind of the leading man and stuff, which I'm surprised to find out about. But like I said, he was a very, very nice fellow, but quite upset that he had all this money and lost everything in a divorce. And so mainly that's what we talked about, about his unhappiness with that, about losing everything due to this divorce, etc. But I just remember he was such a nice guy. And I did, meet a number of people, run into a number of people when I was in Hollywood area. And I did get to go, and I can't remember the name of the studio, but I knew it was a director or somebody bigwig over there. Somebody that my dad had known, and the casting couch is definitely in play there, But I did meet Robert Wagner. He was on this set, and at that time he was quite handsome and quite, well-spoken, came over, introduced himself to me. He was quite polite. And then the other one, what is it called, Adam 12, where they were filming and I was sitting in their trailer watching this game. I think it was a basketball game, and they wanted to know what was going on when they were in shooting. And the guy, what's his name, Adam Milner, he was flirting with me, and, you know, the other guy was really nice, the guy with the dark hair, tall. He's married, and he was quite nice. The other guy that was flirting with me and everything at that point, I could tell he was one of these jerks, you know, Hollywood jerks. It was full of himself, and, you know, I'm like, yeah, no. No, I'm not interested, you know, but yeah, crazy stuff. And like I said, you know, the casting couch, this guy, I can't remember his name. I'd have to look, but he was well known. I think was he a director? So many years ago, I forget. This is when I was still, you know, quite young. But yeah, he tried to get me in the casting couch, and I'm like, that's not happening either. You know, I'm not falling for this nonsense. And I knew somebody in San Francisco. We'd hang out once in a while. And this guy seemed pretty low-key. He had an insurance company. But I'd heard him on the phone. He owned big property over in Hong Kong. And I've heard him on the phone, I mean, just crazy stuff, we'll put it that way. And he wanted to promote my career. He knew, what's his name? Really famous guy, part of the Rat Pack. What is his name? I can see his face. I'm so bad with names. But he wanted to promote my career. But I just went, no way. I know, you know, this guy's in the mafia, and I don't want them to do anything. No, I don't want to have anything to do with that. They tell you where you're going to go, what you're going to do, who you're going to sleep with, all this stuff. And I said, there is no way that I am interested in any of that. Frank Sinatra, that's his name. He wanted to introduce me to Frank Sinatra and have him promote my singing and stuff. And I was just like, yeah, there's no way. So, you know, I've had opportunities offered to me, as well as when I was in India, and I've been a guru, and this one team, soccer team, I think it was soccer, and they said that I had blessed them, and that's why they won. So everybody and his brother was trying to get a hold of me to get me to bless them, and I said, no, that's not, no. I could have taken that and run with it and become very popular, you know, but I said, no, I'm not, no. I did not bless this team to make them win, no. I don't. So, I mean, my life has had a lot of really crazy turns and opportunities to fall hard and go down a rabbit hole of success. I had another guy, I was up in Siliguri area, and he worked for a big paper in Delhi, and he came to see me and wanted to promote me as a guru and all of that. And I just went, yeah, no. Because I knew his ultimate aim was to make money off of this, to make a big ashram and drag all these people in and make all this money. And, you know, again, I said no. So through life, I've had a lot of opportunities, and I saw them all as stumbling blocks, as really ways to fall and fall hard. Because that type of success, quote unquote, is no success at all. Okay, that's yeah, I'm not interested. And I've never been interested. I don't know why people get on this name and fame drama, because, you know, it's a two-edged sword. I've always seen it as a two-edged sword, name and fame. Because they want to create some kind of a construct, some big fantasy around you, which has nothing to do with who you are, but that's what people expect you to be. This fantasy that they create, this hagiography of insanity, and then you're never happy. You have no freedom anymore because everybody wants your autograph. They want you, you know. So you lose your freedom to go anywhere and to do something and just enjoy life. So yeah, maybe you get the name and fame for a while and maybe that's attractive. But in the end, you wind up losing your freedom. And then, you know, you get so used to having big money and all these crowds, and then when it vanishes, which it usually does at some point in time, then all of a sudden you're a has-been. And it can be very devastating to people. Hi, Mr. Mickey. Oh, the mama little love bug. So anyway, you know, just going through there and all of a sudden seeing Aldo Ray just brought all that stuff flooding back of the craziness, the craziness of things, you know. People I've met, quite a few. I ran into the one guy that did Napoleon, what was it called, Napoleon, the one where he's dancing and he plays this really crazy and he's got the crazy uncle. Okay, well, the crazy uncle was in a pet store up in West Hollywood one day. I saw him in there. He's just like the character on the TV. It was funny. He does have that energy. So that was funny. I've met Trini Lopez. Yeah, Trini Lopez, and yeah, just, you know, a bunch of people throughout the years that I've run into and met, and some very nice, and then a few of them, you know, had that kind of Hollywood putting themselves on a pedestal, if you will. They become very narcissistic. And I've always seen it as just another job. Okay, it's your job. Okay, that job happens to have sometimes a lot of perks, but then a lot of people, like I said, they've sold their souls to get into that. So, yeah, nothing is worth that type of a thing. Anyway, today, I don't know why my one eye, become very sensitive to sunlight again. Today, it's painful. I did have that bruising on this one eye, and it's painful again today. I don't know why it was. Oh, I haven't taken any of the Advil for quite some time. I think I'll take an Advil because it is where it got really bruised and it's still healing. Today it just is acting up. So I think I will take an Advil because it is kind of, you know, feeling very bruised and sore. So anyway, on that note, I'll leave that here. just some of the craziness. Yeah, I had so many things, crazy things happen in my life. It's like I've lived 3 lifetimes in this one. I don't know how all this stuff happened. Maybe I'm living in 3 different dimensions at once because I can't figure out how all this stuff happened in one lifetime. Yeah, crazy. On that note, I'll leave that here. I gotta find my Advil because that eye is really sore there today. It must be swollen today because it is ongoing kind of aching and painful, and especially with the light. So, yeah, I am going to take an Advil. I just got to find where I put it.